I never thought I'd see the day when the cabin my father built with his own hands would be set on fire with me and my daughter still inside. And the one behind it wasn't some mobster or stranger in the night, it was the president of our homeowners association, the woman who strutted around like she was the law itself. She had no idea the HOA office she ruled from was actually sitting on land that belonged to my family all along. My name is Ethan Ward. After 15 years as a real estate attorney in the city, I came back to Pine Lake, the quiet little community where my dad, a Gulf War vet, built our cabin in 1987. 6 months ago, he passed away, and that cabin was all I had left of him. I wanted my 12-year-old daughter Lily to have a piece of that piece he had carved out. That's why, on a warm afternoon, I was on a ladder hammering new boards into the roof. The smell of pine mixed with sawdust was almost comforting until the scream of police sirens cut through the calm. There she was, Karen Ellison, 50 years old, blonde hair styled like she was headed for a board meeting, pearls around her neck, and a white SUV parked like it was a sheriff's cruiser. She pointed at me, shrill as ever. "Officer, he's changing the structure of that house without HOA permission. He's breaking community law." She looked like she'd just caught a fugitive. I climbed down, wiped my hands, and without a word handed the officer a folded piece of paper. An original deed from 1987, stamped by the county proving my father had purchased and built this cabin legally. The officer studied it. Karen's confident smirk cracked just a little. For the first time, I saw doubt in her eyes. But Karen didn't stop. She never does. For weeks, she found reasons to target me. My mailbox was the wrong shade. My grass was an inch too tall, the light over my porch too bright. Every day, another petty citation. Everyone in Pine Lake already knew Karen had turned the HOA into her personal kingdom, but I had become her biggest enemy. One afternoon, she showed up at my cabin with her loyal sidekick Tom, the electrician, and a bargain bin lawyer. They dropped a stack of papers on my table. "Environmental impact report," she said sweetly, like poison wrapped in sugar. According to her fabricated report, my roof repairs could contaminate the lake and all work had to stop until I paid $15,000 for a full assessment. For a moment, I actually questioned myself. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe fixing the roof really did cause trouble for everyone else. I'd spent years arguing law, but standing there just a son trying to protect his father's cabin, I felt small, and when the anonymous call came that night, a voice growling, "Leave Pine Lake before there's an accident," my gut twisted. I thought about packing up, taking Lily, and just disappearing. Maybe giving up would be easier. Then Helen Torres knocked on my door the next morning. 70 years old, lived here for decades, sharp as a tack. She brought me a casserole and said, "Ethan, this HOA." It was never even formed legally. I never signed, and I know others didn't either. Karen's been lying from the start. I dug through my dad's files. The formation documents for the HOA had only 7 signatures when the law required 10. 2 of them looked forged. My father, meticulous in everything, had kept all of it. Suddenly, the mighty HOA looked more like a cardboard castle. I laughed, not out of joy, but the kind of laugh you make when you realize just how long you've been played. That was the moment I decided I wasn't running anymore. I called an old investigator I used to work with, Jake Morrison. Within 48 hours, he confirmed what I already suspected. Karen wasn't just a nosy neighbor. She was running predatory loans through shell companies, quietly buying up properties and planning to sell the whole lakeside to a development corporation. My cabin stood in her way. Meanwhile, Lily, always with her video camera, caught something chilling. Karen meeting with 2 shady guys near my property, handing them cash and a red gas can, pointing at my cabin like it was a target. That footage made my blood run cold. This wasn't about HOA rules anymore. It was about survival. The showdown came at the next HOA meeting. Karen stood at the front with a projector painting my roof repairs as if they were an environmental disaster. "He's endangering our property values, our lake," she shrieked. I stood up calm but steady and laid down my father's deed. This land has been ours since 1987, and by state law, this HOA was never valid. You've all been paying into a fraud. The room erupted. Neighbors whispered, some shouted. A retired engineer even stood up and said he never signed any HOA documents yet, had been billed for years. Karen's face went from pink to pale to furious red. She waved her environmental report in the air, desperate. But I wasn't finished. I pulled out the survey maps and tapped the spot where we were sitting. And the HOA office, this very building you've been running everything from, it sits squarely on my family's land. Meaning, every decision Karen made from this office is not just illegitimate, it's trespassing. Silence. Then a murmur that grew louder. People started leaving, shaking their heads. Karen was left alone at the front, trembling with rage. That night at 2 a.m, the smell of gasoline seeped into my cabin. I looked out and saw 2 silhouettes circling the house, pouring liquid along the foundation. Flames flickered as they struck a match. I grabbed Lily, whispered, "Stay quiet. We're going to the basement." My dad, the old soldier, had built a hidden tunnel beneath the cabin that led to the lake. I used to think it was paranoia. Tonight, it was salvation. We crawled through that narrow tunnel, smoke thickening behind us, wood crackling above. Every second felt like an eternity, my anger boiling hotter than the fire itself. When we finally emerged at the lakeshore, gasping in the night air, we turned and saw the cabin engulfed the sky lit orange. My father's legacy burned. But so did Karen's last card. Because the motion-activated cameras around the property had captured everything: the arson, the men, and Karen herself standing back filming on her phone like she was directing a movie. Fire trucks roared in, neighbors rushed out of their homes. And then Karen arrived, face painted with fake concern. "Oh my God, Ethan, are you and Lily okay? This is just terrible." Sheriff Johnson stepped forward. No patience for the act. He'd already seen the footage. His voice was ice cold as he said, "Karen Ellison, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit arson and attempted murder." The color drained from her face as the cuffs snapped around her wrists. She thrashed, shouting, "I did this for the community. You'll regret this." But no one answered. No one looked at her. The queen of Pine Lake's little kingdom was finished. My cabin was gone, reduced to ashes. But as I watched Karen dragged away under the glow of flashing lights, I realized something. Sometimes the most dangerous enemies aren't out in the world. They're the neighbors who think they own it.